Hey, kings and queens, it's Saundra Fenwick here, your mortgage consultant. I hope all is well with you guys and you're having a great day. It's Thursday. Today is a holiday, what we call Juneteenth. The date, blackity black, black, black. But happy Juneteenth. Happy Black Independence Day. I'm noticing that I'm going to be celebrating Juneteenth and going forward. And I've been doing that for the last couple of years, but this is our Independence Day. This is the day that we should be celebrating and shooting fireworks and all that good stuff. So happy Juneteenth. I don't know if you guys are at home relaxing. I know most of us are at home because we're off of work. And I wanted to put this out here because last week I was on vacation. I took a vacation from one of my jobs, and I decided I was resting. I was spending time with the kids. We did pool, we did beach, we just had a good old time. So I said, this is I'm taking this day off. So that's why you didn't see a lunch and learn. But based upon the conversations I've had with potential buyers over the last week, that I have to do a lunch and learn about the different stages of home buying. So this is going to be amazing. And of course, I made a presentation for you. So I'm going to put that up on the screen now. And of course, y'all know I can't see very well. Make it bigger. My eyes are aging, guys. So let me make this full screen. So I'm not sure what's going to be going on. But anyway, so let's go on. I'm Saundra Fenwick. I'm your mortgage consultant. And I'm here today and we're walking through the most important journeys you'll ever take. Buying a home. Buying a home is the most important journey, right? So whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're a realtor who wants to better guide your clients, this is the training for you. So make sure you take notes if you need to, and please don't hesitate to call me if you have any questions. All right, welcome to the Lunch and Learn. Today we're walking through one of the most important journeys. All right, this is the 6 essential stages. That's what I just said. So, stage 1 is getting ready mentally. I tell people all the time that you're going to buy a house when you're ready to buy a house, right? So you have to be mentally ready. There are people who have wonderful jobs. They have money in the bank. They have a great credit score, but they're just not ready to buy a house. So you have to be mentally ready. When people say, oh, I don't want to buy because of the interest rates and all of that, you're not mentally ready because we have people buying houses every day. Our firm is closing on loans pretty much every day. So people are buying houses. And it's just like buying a car. When you saved up your money and you've gotten to the point where you say, I need a new car, this old one is acting up, or I want to buy my dream car, you're not checking to see what the interest rates are. You're just going to go to the dealership, you're going to buy that car. And if you can handle the payment, you're going to buy that car. So it's the same when it comes to purchasing a house. You have to assess your why for buying a home. So why do you want to buy a house? We all need some place to live. We all need a roof over our head. So you can do that by renting. You can do that by buying. But why do you want to buy? Are you going to build generational wealth? Do you want to use it as an investment? Are you tired of throwing money away on rent? There's a plethora of reasons that you make the decision to buy a house. So why are you buying a home is the first step. And then you want to be realistic about your home ownership responsibility. When you're buying a home versus renting, you can't pick up the phone and call the maintenance and say, I got an appointment. So you have to take care of all of that on your own. But there are all types of things, like you can get different home warranties. You can make relationships with different contractors and plumbers. Have those people in your back pocket, so just in case you have a emergency, you can call them. Some things will be covered under your homeowner's insurance. and some things will be covered under your home warranty. But you have to be realistic about, hey, this is my responsibility. This is my property. I got to upkeep the yard. I got to take the trash out. If something breaks, I got to replace it. I got to keep up on my warranties on all of my appliances. Be realistic about that. Evaluate and improve your financial habits. Some of us can't save money. Some of us. There are a number of reasons why we can't. I mean, we may have more bills than we have money coming in. Or when we do get a lump sum of money, we want to buy that fancy car that I was talking about. Or we may want to take a trip. Or we may have other responsibilities to do with our children. So evaluate your financial habits. You may be a person that likes to go to happy hour 3 times a week, or go out every weekend, or go to every concert when it comes. Evaluate your financial habits, and then you have to train yourself on how to make sure that you're able to fiscally take care of this home. Ensure your household aligns with your goals and expectations. I see this all the time, and realtors probably see it more than me, that the husband may want certain things, and then the husband said, I got to have a man cave. The wife says, we don't need a basement. That's unnecessary. So sit down with your spouse if you guys are buying the house together, and you make sure that your goals align. You make your wants versus needs list. Put all your needs down. You got to have these, but this is what I want. And be realistic about that list, because sometimes our wants are not necessarily needs. So make sure you align with your goals and expectations. Stage 2, get pre-approved. That's where I come in. I am your lender. So what is a pre-approval? The pre-approval is where a lender, me, we give you a conditional approval based upon your income, your assets, your credit, and your debt. So we're going to run, we're going to run your credit, and we're going to see all of your liabilities on it, with your debt, credit card, car notes, personal loans. All of that is on your credit report. We're going to see your score, which is really, really important. And then we're going to look at your bank statements, your pay stub, your tax return, etc. We're going to see you can financially afford to buy a house. So the pre-approval helps you know what you can afford before house hunt. You will be really, really upset if you're on Zillow or Redfin, scrolling through looking at $500,000 houses, and then when you finally get pre-approved, you can only get a $300,000 house. That's going to taint your taste based upon 500 versus 300. So getting a pre-approval lets you know what you can afford before you even start looking at houses. That is extremely, extremely important. When you go to buy a house, your first thought is, let me call my realtor. You should be calling your lender, because the pre-approval step is the most important step after you're mentally ready. So the pre-approval also shows the sellers that you're serious. So if somebody writes an offer on a house and don't have a pre-approval, then the seller's like, wait a minute, they may not even be able to get this house. So a seller is more likely to accept an offer from a person who's pre-approved as opposed to a person who is not. So you gather your documents, the ones that I just mentioned, and then you avoid big purchases and new credit during this stage. Some people have gotten pre-approved and then went out and got a line of credit to buy some new furniture for their house. That changes your debt to income ratio, and that can blow up your deal all the way around. So avoid letting anybody run your credit while you're in this process, and avoid buying anything, big ticket items especially, while you're in this process. That will trip you up every time. Stage 3, shop for the home with your realtor. So now you've given me all your documents. I wrote your pre-approval. Get your pre-approval $550,000. Here you go, realtor. Let's go on the shop. So this helps the realtor, right? Because the realtor can now put in their search on their MLS. We looking for houses in this neighborhood based upon all the amenities and everything that you asked for at the maximum this amount. And then they can set up a campaign where it's sending you email for homes. And you start looking through those on the computer and say, hey, I want to see this one. So you're working with your realtor to find the right home. Then you're going to say, okay, I want to see these out of the list that you sent me. And the realtor will schedule a tour. And you will go there because those pictures online are always made to draw you in and make everything will look nice. Nobody's going to put a trash neighborhood, a picture of the trash neighborhood or a picture of some stuff that needs to be fixed in the house on their listing because that doesn't make sense. So you want to always go see the home. Tour it, look through it. Is it what you expected? Is it similar to the pictures that you saw online? Does the neighborhood work? Sometimes you might be on a one cul-de-sac street and there's only one way in and one way out. That may not work for you. So tour the home, evaluate it, make sure it fits your lifestyle. Some people go see one house and they're like, oh, this is it, let's write an offer. And some people see 20 houses and still don't like it. And this one don't have this and this one don't have that. So work with your realtor, tour the homes and see what's the right fit for you. Research the neighborhood and local amenities. What's near you? You may have a child with special needs and they need to go to therapy once a week. Look around the neighborhood to see if there's places to do that. Or look at the school district and see how they're rated or they're ranked if you're going to send them to the schools in your area. Check out the local grocery store. Is there a Target in there? Is there a place that I can shop? If that's important to you, research the neighborhood. And then ask critical questions about the property. Something's wrong with the property, 9 times out of 10, they may have disclosed it. And sometimes the realtor can only see certain notes on the property. So ask critical questions. If something comes up that you're not sure of, if something comes up in the house that you don't like, hey, will they fix that? Will they take it? Always take it to your realtor because your realtor can take it to, if it's not in the notes of the listing, then your realtor can take that to the listing agent and ask the questions that you're posing to them. So this is the fun part. A lot of times the pre-approval is the tedious part. Oh, I got to go find my taxes. Oh, I got to look through and get my bank statement. Most of this stuff is online, so you can get this stuff like that. Log into your online bank account portal, download to bank statement. Most jobs have an online payroll system. Log into the online payroll system. Download your last 2 pay stubs. You can get your W-2s most times on it. So it's not as tedious as it was when I first started back in 2016. You may not have to look for paper documents. Mostly everything is online. However, once you get that pre-approval, you know what your budget is. You know what your out-of-pocket. You have approximate amount of money that you're going to have to bring to closing. You know what your monthly payment will be. Now it's time to have fun. Let's go find the house that you want. Sometimes it can get stressful because you might get frustrated that you're not seeing you're not getting all you want in there. But as long as those properties have what you need, evaluate that. So this is the fun part, shop for a property. Stage 3. Okay, you and your realtor got to that property and you said, hey, this is it. This is my house. I love it. I love it. I love it. Your realtor is going to take my pre-approval letter and they're going to go write an offer and they're going to submit it. So the offer says, we're coming in at this. This is what we would like you to give us. And then the listing agent will go. This may involve negotiations and counteroffer. You may ask for $10,000 in closing help from the seller. The seller may not just reject your offer. They may come back and say, instead of $15,000, I'll give them $10,000. Instead of $529, let's go $535. So I'm not a realtor. I don't want to get too much into that because that's not my lane. I stay in my lane. But this is what I view as far as what the realtor does once they write an offer. So now the realtor has negotiated this great deal for you. It can come to you. You've agreed. The seller has agreed. All parties sign off on that offer, and now you're what we call ratified. Congratulations! This house is almost yours. It's ratified. You have legally signed up and said, I'm going to buy this house. And now you are officially under contract. This is now we get back into the paperwork and the tedious things. So you're going to come back to me after you've been ratified. So stage 5 is the underwriting and the loan approval part. So now we've pre-approved you, right? So we're going to take that contract. We're going to take your pre-approval, and we're going to submit this to the underwriter. The underwriter is going to review everything, and they're going to assess the risk. They're going to turn around and give us a preliminary approval. This loan is approved with conditions. The conditions are the additional information that the underwriter needs to see in order to approve this loan. It may be for you to elaborate on some stuff they saw on your pay stub. It may be for you to write some letters of explanation about a previous address that you have. It could be a number of things. So sometimes I've seen a list of 6 conditions. Sometimes I've seen a list of 25 conditions. So it just depends on the underwriter and your situation. Then we're going to order the appraisal. Once we submit the file to the bank and we get that contract, within the next 24 to 48 hours, we're usually ordering the appraisal. You pay for the appraisal, and then the appraiser is assigned and scheduled, right? So the appraisal usually could be. Sometimes it moves quickly, sometimes it takes longer. They confirm the appraisal, and then the appraiser is scheduled, right? So around about the same time you're ordering your appraisal, you are usually setting up your home inspection. If you go back to my YouTube channel, you can see the whole video that I've done on the home inspection. A home inspection is not required on our end, the lender, but I do highly recommend it because the appraiser works for the bank. The home inspector works for you. The appraiser is going there to look and see how much this house is worth. The home inspector is going through and assessing everything to let you know the age of the appliances, sometimes the HVAC system, the heating, make sure the heating works, make sure there aren't any potential leaks, all of that good stuff. Any potential termite problem, pest problems, the foundation is good. That's everything that the home inspector is looking for. So around the same time you order your appraisal, you want to order your home inspection. And then that's going to be scheduled as well. And then we're working on the back end because now you're approved with conditions, and my processor and my loan coordinator is now in contact with you every day. Hey, underwriting's asking for this. I need you to get me this. Let's write this letter. Let's do X, Y, and Z. Be as responsible to the additional document request. Be as responsive as possible. After you've been ratified and you know that we got that contract, expect to be by your phone. Expect to check your emails regularly, every single day, to make sure. I'm sorry. 5 seconds. We expect to. I'm sorry, y'all. Expect to be responsive. When you see an email from me on processor, please respond and please get us whatever we need. And this determines how fast we want to close your loan. So we ask you for something, and you're saying, "Oh, I gotta go look for it." Oh, you're taking a week to give us one document. That's going to take an extra week for you to close that loan. So please, that is the most important thing. I have closed loans in 7 days. That is my record. 7 days. All of this stuff was done in 7 days. On average, it takes anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, so 21 to 30 days. And I closed in 7 days. The difference in how we're going to close your loan and how quickly we're going to close your loan is how responsive you are, how quickly we can get that home inspection done, and how quickly the bank is at reviewing the documents that they ask for. That's it. So we have collected all the documents. The appraisal was in and it came in at value. The underwriter has signed off and checked off on everything. The appraisal, the title work has been put in. The title company, let me speak a little bit about that. The title company is responsible for registering everything, like your tax account, your insurance. They're responsible for paying everything and handling all of the money. So once we close, the bank is wiring the money right to the title company, and the title company is disbursing the money where it needs to be. This needs to go to this is to cover this fee, this is to cover your taxes, this is to cover your insurance, this is to cover the closing, this is going to the seller. The title company handles all of that. The title company also does a title search on the house to see if anything is wrong on the house. The title company also offers you title insurance. So just in case, to protect the title of your house once you get it. So they have a lender's title insurance and then they have a buyer's title insurance. So that's where the title company comes in. All of us are working simultaneously to get this loan closed. Saundra cannot do all of that. Right? Saundra can collect the documents, Saundra can put together your loan, Saundra can make sure that you qualify for this loan. So once we get into underwriting, you have Saundra, you have the processor, you have the title company, you have the appraiser, you have both realtors, your listing agent and your agent, the buyer's agent. You have underwriters, you have senior underwriters. You have processors at the bank, and you have the title company. So you have all of these people coming together to make this vehicle work. So once you get through all of that, you've gotten through underwriting, they checked everything off. So the first underwriter is going to check everything off. Then your file is going to go into what we call a QC check, quality control. That's where the manager above the first underwriter is going to go through everything line by line to make sure that that first human being that checked your file did not miss anything. In this QC check, sometimes they find things and be like, oh, wait a minute, before we issue your clear to close, this is what we need. This was missing. Explain this. It's not, it's probably most 60-40 that when we go on the QC check that they come back and add to something. But if everything is straight, the first underwriter didn't miss anything, that second set of eyes was on there and she checked off everything, or he checked off everything after the first underwriter, then we are issued what we call a clear to close. I don't count any deal until we get a clear to close. I don't schedule any closing until we get a clear to close. That is the most important thing of this stage of this, because that's when you get your final approval. Remember, once we submit it to the bank, you get your initial approval with conditions. Once you get your clear to close, you have your final approval. This is where they're going to settle all the numbers. Throughout this process, I'm going to give you an initial set of numbers based upon estimate. And then once we submit it to the bank, you're going to get a loan estimate. That's going to give you another set of numbers. And then once we lock your loan, you're going to get a locked loan estimate, because now we have your interest rate locked in. You may have brought down your interest rate and that money is added to that loan estimate. And then once we get the appraisal and everything back, then you're going to get what we call a closing disclosure. That's going to be a different set of numbers. So all of these numbers should be close. They should be close. They shouldn't be too far off. But until we're clear to close, you will not get that final closing disclosure. We call it a CD. You will not get that final CD until after we're clear to close. And that's when you know what your actual number that you're going to have to bring, the money you're going to have to bring to the table. So you're clear to close. They're going to issue a closing disclosure. The bank is going to look at it. The title company is going to look at it. Because remember, the title company is the people that are dispersing these funds. The bank is going to have a list of all your fees and what everything costs. The title company is going to go through everything. Okay, that matches, that matches, that matches, that matches. If the title company have a different number than the lender, then the title company goes back to the lender and say, hey, this doesn't match this doesn't match this. Where's the discrepancy? They're going to go back and forth with that until they get, okay, this is what I got, we match. I got the same exact thing you had. That's when we'll let you know, here's your number. You need to bring $20,639.32 to the title. You're going to wire that money over to title. So you're also going to schedule your final walkthrough. You want to do your final walkthrough at least one day before closing. Some people do it the same day. Some people do it the day before. Some people may do it a couple days before. You know why? In most cases, that house could be sitting empty. By then, even if the sellers were living in the house, they have probably packed up and moved out. They've probably cleaned up, gotten ready for you. If the house was vacant when you first wrote the offer on it, then, it's still sitting vacant. Sometimes there could be squatters in the house because now people in the neighborhood and looked around like, this house been vacant for a long time. I'm going to just stay there. Sometimes one of my clients got to closing. He did his final walk in the morning before closing and went to the house, and the whole AC unit was gone. No, literally, that little box that's sitting on your side of your house? Someone knew that the house was vacant all the time, and they went and stole the AC unit. They literally stole the AC unit. So he was at the title company calling the owner like, wait a minute, what we going to do about this? Because that house, technically, until you sign those paperwork and it's registered, that seller still owns that house. So that seller had to file a claim with their homeowner's insurance company to get that AC unit replaced. So the final walkthrough is extremely important, and your realtor can go through that. Again, that's not my lane, but your realtor can go through that in detail on how that works. You're going to schedule a time to come to the closing office. We now are in the technology phase where you can do a virtual closing, but most of the time, 99% of the time, you got to go to the title company and physically wet sign. And it depends on what state and all of that. Some states require a wet signature. They won't accept an electronic signature. So go to closing, sign all your final documents on closing day. Make sure you have your ID before they allow you, because there is a notary there. Your closer is usually a notary. They have to see your ID. They got to log in the book. They got to stamp it and all of that. And then once everything is signed, all the paperwork is signed, the notary or the closer will package all of that up, send it over to the bank, and then now your loan has moved to the stage of being funded, which means the bank is going to wire that money over to the closing table. And then once it's funded, you're going to get your keys. Usually you'll get those at the closing table. It's very, very rare that after you sign those documents and that's done, you don't get your keys. You get your keys and you are ready to go ahead and move in. You own this house. All right, my final thoughts. Understanding this process, and I said at the beginning of the video, I decided to do this video because once I pre-approve a person and this happened last week, I got sent out 3 pre-approvals, and everybody was like, what's next? And I'm like, go shopping with your realtor. Go on and have a good time. But that's a very, very common question because people don't know the different stages there are to buy a house. People just don't want to buy a house. You think you're going to apply for a loan, get approved, and that's your house. But it's a very intricate process. So I made this video so you can understand each stage and you can be prepared for that. A lot of things aren't as frustrating if you were mentally prepared and you knew what to expect. Surround yourself with a knowledgeable team. Again, I've been doing this for years. I partner with a lot of knowledgeable realtors. So if you don't already have a realtor, I will make sure that I get you over to a realtor that I trust and a realtor that I know is extremely knowledgeable about this business. Most of my realtor partners, we've done several deals together. So I trust them. And I will send you over to one of them that I trust. And I'm here to guide you every step of the way. I tell people all the time, don't hesitate, because I'll be on the phone with a client and be like, hey, so everything all right? I'll explain something to them. They'll be like, yeah. And then they'll hang up the phone and call their realtor and be like, hey, Saundra said this. Can you explain that to me? And then the realtor will call me and say, well, the client called and asked me this. And I'm like, why don't you feel like you can ask me that question? And they would be like, oh, I didn't want to ask a dumb question. I didn't want you to look at me a type of way because I asked you that, whatever. They may have a closer relationship with their realtor because, again, they're out every day with this person going out, looking at homes, and they built a closer rapport. But no question is a dumb question. You don't know. I didn't know any of this before I took a class. It was licensed and got experience in the business. So I am here to help. If it's after hours, shoot me a text. Hey, Saundra, I had this question. If I'm up and I'm available, I'll text you right back. Or call me. Hey, I saw this on the closing disclosure on the CD. Can you explain this number to me? Or what is this for? Where is this going to? Do not hesitate to ask me, because I am here to help. I'm here every step of the way. And anything that I can't answer, if it's a realtor question, then I will get you over to your realtor. Stay connected. You guys can keep this here for a few seconds so you can take a screenshot of it if you need to. But 301-965-1155 is my phone number. You can shoot me an email. You can start your application at approvedmesaundra.com. Just like I said, it's approvedmesaundra.com. Don't forget the E on my name. It's Saundra, not Sandra. But no, this one went a little bit longer, but this is a long process. So I pray that you got to the end of this video and you didn't start halfway through, because all of these things you need to know. Because buying a house is, I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to talk y'all head off today. Buying a house. I don't know where I left off at. I'm going to end it here. Happy Juneteenth. You guys have an amazing day. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with anybody that you know is on the fence with buying a house and just kind of confused and nervous. Hopefully this gives you some insight. Hopefully my videos don't make you feel more stressed. because you think it's as a big process. These are a lot of things, but most of these things we take care of. You're professional. We're just here to guide you. All you have to worry about is when I call and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, I need this paper, or if Tabby called you, or if Heather calls you, and they say, hey, the underwriter is asking for this, can you please send this? You just send it, and then let us do the rest. If something comes up that may be an issue, I'm gonna call you right away and say, hey, this is what comes up. This is how we fix it. Let's fix it. So I got your back. I love y'all. Have an amazing day. Bye.